Well, it was a stop-start affair at the Durban High Court this morning for the pre-trial conference of the AKA murder case. First, the media were barred from going live and televising the proceedings. But however, the state has also been called out by the judge who is presiding over the matter, Jaqueline Henriques, for not having their house in order. And this pertains to 220 admissions that were supposed to be furnished to some of the defense lawyers. To break it all down for us, I am joined by our legal expert, Abigail Ngobeni. Thank you so much for joining us, Abigail. Quite a lengthy morning this morning, looking at the stop-start affair, the state saying that they did not furnish the documentation to the defense, and the judge subsequently calling them out for it.
Yes, I think that's not what one would have expected, particularly if you hear from the bench the judicial officer saying you should get your house in order. That should show a little bit of concern from their side. But of course, you'll note that from what we heard, things like bank statements, things like tracker reports, all those other things are there. The ballistic reports, which ordinarily takes time, we are told it's there. What seemed to be the cause of delay today is to the effect that the 220 statements seem not to have reached other defense counsels, like you have said, and there are other additional witnesses who are not part of the questionnaire or the joint agreed witnesses that are discovered, and their evidence which is discovered between the two. I think that's what invited the lashing from the side of the judge to say they should get their house in order.
One would have thought that by now we would have had a definitive trial date, and with all these delays, we still have yet to see 45 witnesses the state says that they're going to call to the stand.
Yeah, one was expecting that the matter will be certified trial ready today, so that we know when exactly will the first witness take the stand. But you also noted today that there were issue of sessions. Remember, the judge president, when she was here last time prior to this day's appearance, was that the matter is going to be accommodated in this particular term of judges, and it's going to be into these two sessions. But it appears that it's not going to be, and that's how the judge says they should take it up with the office of the judge president to get proper dates. Hence, the matter will be ahead on the 13th of August to hear particularly when will this trial be.
And now, obviously, Abigail, we are preempting here, but if there are certain delays, especially when it comes to the ballistic reports, the CCTV footage, and other documents, the witnesses, their affidavits, etc., could there be possibly a quashing of charges on the cards?
It is premature to say that now, particularly because we have not had anything from the state. There's nothing actually in the public domain. Safe to say that there are admissions that are already made, and one is not even privy to see what are the content of those admissions. But one would expect that there are witnesses such as the evidence such as post-mortem. I don't think that is something that anybody can deny that somebody had died. Perhaps the issue would be the issue of ballistics and the likes, to say is the firearm confiscated the one that caused the murder. So one will not really be able to tell whether there is any of the charges that will be squashed. It will depend. Even the issue of money laundering, if the bank statements do correlate or do speak to the explanation that the Gwabeni have given to say it was a business transaction, I don't think that charge will stand. But let's wait until we hear what the state have to say.
And it's going to be very interesting. Thank you so much for joining us, our legal expert on the matter there, Abigail Ngobeni, just breaking down what transpired this morning. The state being called out by the judge that's presiding over the matter, Jaqueline Henriques, for not having their house in order after not furnishing the defense lawyers with Section 220 admissions, talking to the ballistic evidence, talking to CCTV footage, as well as affidavits of the 45 witnesses that are yet to take the stand here at the Durban High Court. Well, the trial will commence on the 13th of August.